AITA for calling my sister selfish for announcing her pregnancy at our parents' house? My husband and I have been having a long struggle with infertility. We have been getting treated and trying for a baby since 2017. But nothing worked. My husband is understandably devastated as he'd always wanted kids but never got the chance to be a father. He's super sensitive about the infertility topic. This my family knows. Days ago, we got together with family for dinner. All of a sudden, my sister and her husband announced that they were expecting. We were stunned. Me and my husband, I mean. As for the others, they were thrilled. As everyone got up to congratulate them, my husband got up, pushed his chair to the side and walked out. They all stared at me, but I got up and told my sister she messed up by announcing her pregnancy like this, and with zero consideration for my husband knowing how he feels about this topic. She got defensive, saying his issues with the topic wasn't her problem and that she and her husband were fed up walking on eggshells around him. I called her selfish and cruel, but she complained that he ruined their joy and that I made it worse by making a scene. I told her she shouldn't have chose my parents' house, but she said I have no place to dictate what she does in our parents' house. My mom asked me to go home and I went. It's been horrible. My parents think I've reacted poorly and should apologize to my sister on both mine and my husband's behalf after the scene we made at their home. YTA. I am sorry for your infertility issues. However, you don't get to take happiness away from other people because of it. Where were they supposed to announce the pregnancy? Or were they just supposed to keep it a secret? And what happens when the baby shows up? Will them bringing the baby around be rubbing it in your face, too? YTA. What exactly would you consider an appropriate way for her to announce her pregnancy? Or did you expect her to keep it a secret until the child was born? Until it was old enough to graduate? For the rest of their lives? YTA. You took your brother-in-law and sister's joyous announcement and made it about your and your husband's problems. Everyone has been tiptoeing around your fertility issues for 5 years. And you couldn't let them have 5 minutes of excitement before you say something like, "No one understands, my husband and I had miscarriage after miscarriage until we decided to live our lives happily, child-free. And yes, we're happy for our friends who announce their pregnancies." Very much YTA. This is not about you or your husband. Your sister is also her parents' house and wanted to share their good news. They don't owe you anything, and it's unfair for you or your husband to expect to lessen themselves because of your struggles. They have every right to be excited and share that with the family. YTA. I get it. The anniversary of the miscarriage of my only pregnancy is approaching. Infertility is a bigger struggle than people who have not dealt with realized, but life doesn't stop for everyone because of what you and your husband are going through. Your sister should not be denied the chance to share her happiness at her parents' home. YTA. Sorry. Unfortunate situation, but where else is your sister supposed to announce that she's pregnant? Or is she supposed to keep it a secret? Hypothetically, if you and your husband were to fall pregnant and announce it to your family, would you want your family to be happy and congratulate you, or storm out of the room and make it about themselves? Or would your pregnancy be better than others because it's yours? You are fantastically self-centered. Your parents were right in asking you to leave. YTA. You're getting a niece or nephew and you are blowing up the chance for a relationship with them before they're even born. And your sister. I myself am struggling to conceive. Not far off giving up. But my nephew is the light of my life. And I will give that child everything I have. Fix your attitude before it's too late. YTA. Your struggles are not your sister's struggles. If the roles were reversed, would you have stayed childless for her sake? YTA, I have a great deal of sympathy for you and your husband struggling to conceive. It can be devastating, and I wouldn't wish that struggle on anyone. I hope you're both seeking mental health care to help you navigate your journey. With that said, your sister and her husband announcing their pregnancy was not about you. It was about them, and they're allowed to celebrate it. I think your husband removing himself from the room was the right move for him in the moment, but you had no right to call out your sister like that. She's right that it's not fair to them to have to walk on eggshells. You did react poorly. Now it's up to you to try to mend fences. And I think part of that mending needs to include a plan for how to navigate pregnancy and babies. Going forward, what will happen once the baby is born? Or if they have another child? You need answers to those questions, because this kid is gonna be sticking around, and it would be extremely unfair to everyone to behave as though the child is anything other than a blessing. YTA. I'm genuinely sorry to hear you are struggling with this. But you can't expect other people to walk on eggshells and hide their joy because you can't have something they do. Are you going to be upset seeing updates on social media? Will you be upset seeing her in person once she begins to show? Or pics after the baby is born? Or her bringing the baby to family events? You can't expect people to hide themselves away to spare your feelings. I get how terrible it must feel to see someone have what you so desperately want. But it is not fair to take out your feelings on other people like this. They did nothing wrong by sharing this news with their own family. If you and your husband are struggling this much, I think you should look into therapy. Best of luck. Edited to add. Here are a few AITA stories from more of your sister's perspective. Just food for thought. https www.reddit.com/r/AmITheAsshole/comments/xcj282/AITA for saying you want cuddle my infertile sister UTM source equals share and UTM medium equals iOS app and UTM name equals iOS SMF. https www.reddit.com/r/AmITheAsshole/comments/oot6uod/wibtypha didn't stop posting pictures of my baby UTM source equals share and UTM medium equals iOS app and UTM name equals iOS SMF. https www.reddit.com/r/AmITheAsshole/comments/moigakune/AITA for throwing mysil infertility inherent UTM source equals share and UTM medium equals iOS app and UTM name equals iOS SMF. https www.reddit.com/r/AmITheAsshole/comments/suck479/AITA for not wanting towel cone eggshells around UTM source equals share and UTM medium equals iOS app and UTM name equals iOS SMF. Gently. YTA and your husband is too. If this happened at your home, I would have a harder time with my judgment. But this was your parents' home. This was your parents' child, letting them know they were going to be grandparents. You and your husband are the ones that acted selfishly. Your fertility struggles do not mean no one else in your family can have children, you know. YTA, where else but a family gathering that isn't focused around something else, i.e. wedding, is more appropriate to announce? YTA. I'm sorry you all are dealing with infertility. But your sister is right. She doesn't have to not announce her pregnancy at both of your parents' homes. They are her parents too. You and your husband need to be in therapy if you can't handle others being pregnant. There are also plenty of other ways to have children in this day and age. YTA Your personal problems as adults do not trump other adults' rights to celebrate, announce or share their own excitement. It wasn't like they upstaged your wedding. I'm sorry for your troubles, but y'all are the selfish ones here, and how those troubles keep you from being happy for others. YTA. Infertility is heartbreaking and difficult, but you and your husband were very out of line. You both owe everyone an apology for how you acted. More importantly, though, you and your husband should strongly consider grief counseling. The grief that comes from wanting to be a parent and having problems conceiving is all-consuming, and not treating the grief will create lots of problems and extra suffering for you. It's already straining your familial relationships. You are about to get a new addition to the family, and addressing your grief now, with a professional's help, will go a long way to allowing your relationships to survive, and will also allow you to be present and engaged in your new nibbling's life. YTA. Seek help for your issues so people aren't robbed of the chance to share their own lives. YTA Your sister should not be expected to not be excited about her pregnancy because of your husband. While his feelings are valid, if he is struggling this bad, then he needs to seek therapy. YTA Unfortunately, life goes on, and part of that is friends and family having children. As heartbreaking as your situation is, your sister has every right to announce her pregnancy at a family dinner, as long as it wasn't a special occasion for someone else. You and your husband reacted poorly. I am sure your sister, Bill, and your parents have been supportive of your struggles. You need to be supportive with your sister's good news. Truthfully, no matter how or when she announced her pregnancy, you or your husband would have reacted poorly. It's not fair for you or him to expect them not to have children or be happy when they do. I would suggest you and your husband go to counseling before it ruins your relationship with your friends and family. And you do owe your sister an apology, and so does your husband. YTA. Whose house should she have announced it in? Infertility sucks, but the world around you is not going to stop because of it. She didn't get pregnant at you and your husband. You were the ones who made her pregnancy about you, and probably ruined something that was an important moment to her. You do owe her an apology. This should be a wake-up call that you and your husband need to be in therapy to learn to manage your emotions around infertility. Others are going to have babies. It's going to hurt you, but you hurting them isn't going to change anything for you. YTA. Not your house. Not your rules. Your mother was correct to ask you to leave after causing a scene.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.